What's up my bro, Tundrum here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you my Warrior Tribal aggro standard deck. Now, this deck, I was doing a draft, and somehow I ended up with an extremely warrior-orientated deck, and it performed really well, and I was like, hey, why not try make a warrior deck in standard? And I've built this deck, and I've done a few games with it, and it's actually very powerful, often outclassing a lot of other decks, and I have won a lot of games with it so far. So I thought I'd show you guys the list and give you some gameplay. So, first up in the list we've got Shadow Spear. We're just running one of them. It's not an ideal include, but there aren't actually too many warriors, so we do have slim pickings. Shadow Spear, it's a 1-mana legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets 1/1, has trample and lifelink. Equip costs 2, and we can pay 1 to make our permanents our opponents control lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. This is more of a sideboard card, but it can be pretty good against other aggro decks and let us outclass them with life gain. We also do have quite a bit of equipment payoffs. Next up we're running 4 Seasoned Hallowblade. This card is really strong. I run it in my mono white human aggro Pioneer deck, and it's a beast there, let alone in standard. It's a very strong card. It's a 2-mana free 1 human warrior, and you can simply discard a card, tap it, and it gains indestructible until end of turn. So keeping in mind it can already be tapped to do this ability, it just means if it's untapped it then becomes tapped pretty much. Very strong, it's exceptionally hard for our opponents to deal with, and if we can get something like Embercleave onto it, it's often GG for our enemies. We're running 2 Sejuri Shelter. Sejuri Shelter, it's a 2-mana instant. It gives target creature we control protection from the colour of our choice until end of turn, or we can play it as a tapped white land, which is pretty solid. We're running 4 Goma Fada Vanguard. It's a 2-mana 2/2, and when it attacks, target creature an opponent controls with power less than or equal to the number of warriors you control can't block this turn. So this is really solid. We attack in, and if we have 1, 2, or 3 warriors, we can almost always not make something block. Very solid card. 4 Kargan Intimidator. This is one of the biggest warrior payoffs. It's a 2-mana free 1 human warrior, but it says cowards can't block warriors. Now that might not seem too viable, but you can pay 1 to choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. You can give Kargan Intimidator 1/1 until end of turn. You can give target warrior trample until end of turn. This can be very viable for our larger creatures. Or we can pay 1 to make target creature become a coward until end of turn. So every turn making 1 creature not be able to block creatures we control, it might not seem viable, but it can make such a difference, often almost completely shutting down an enemy's creature. And if we have this combined with, let's say, Goma Fada, we're essentially making 2 of their creatures not being able to block each turn, which is extremely good to get an aggro and get some extra damage. Then we're running 4 Relicax. Now this, I didn't think it was too strong at first, but it's exceptionally strong. It makes your guys massive, and if you can get this plus an Embercleave, it's just a beast. Or this onto a Seasoned Hallowblade, it's amazing. It's a 2-mana artifact equipment, and it says when it enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. Pretty nice. What does it do? It says equipped creature gets 1/1, if it's a warrior, it gets 2/1 instead. So it's essentially a 2-mana artifact that automatically attaches and gives a creature 2/1, and then we can re-equip it for 2 mana. Really solid. 2 mana for a 2/1 artifact equipment is pretty good. And if our creature gets destroyed, we can just re-equip it. It gets us so much value over the course of the game, and there is so little artifact or enchantment removal in this format, even in sideboards, because it's not really viable at all. The most enchantment type used stuff is maybe like Banishing Light. But this so often will get us so much value. In the games I have played it, it's almost always worked out. So I think it is worth the include. Now, as you can see, our curve is a little bit not great, but it does still work out. And the free drops, I just threw in an extra Shatter Skull Charger. I wasn't actually running them originally, just to help flatten out the curve, though. It is a bit of a meh curve, but the deck normally goes, it'll almost always go 2-drop, into either a 3-drop or another 2-drop, into turn 4 either a 4-drop or a 3-drop, or double 2-drop. It normally curves out quite nicely. Just occasionally we don't need to play a 3-drop on turn 3, often it's just a 2-drop. So in the 3-drops we're running 4 Paired Tactician. This card's pretty good, it's not amazing, but it's a 3-mana free 2 human warrior, and it says when it and at least one other warrior attack, put a 1/1 counter on it. So it's a pretty solid card. Whenever it attacks with another creature, it essentially gets a 1/1 counter. So it can be pretty viable in the end, getting pretty massive. Then we're running one Shadow Skull Charger. Like I said before, I'm kind of just running this to flatten out the curve. It's a pretty good aggro card. In fact, it might be worth including more, but I'm just running one of them. It's a 3-mana 4/3 creature, giant warrior with trample and haste. But then it says, at the beginning of your end step, if it doesn't have a 1/1 counter on it, return it to its owner's hand. So this is essentially 3 mana attacking with a 4/3 bounce back to your hand, which isn't that good. But then later on, we can kick it for 2, and if it's kicked, it enters with a 1/1 counter. So it is pretty good. It has options. We can either essentially play it as a 5 mana 4/3 with 5/4, with trample and haste, or we can pay 3 mana to just bring it in and swing in that turn. Pretty solid card. For Kargan War Leaders, this is a really solid card in this deck. 3 mana 3/3, and all our other warriors get 1/1. It's not incredible, but a 3 mana 3/3 that essentially gives other creatures you control 1/1 can get you a lot of power, often 4, 5, or even 6 or 7 power. Next up, we're running 2 Ogre Battle Driver. They're a 4 mana 3/3 creature Ogre Warrior, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. I think this is only an arena card. They just happen to introduce it in the arena decks. But this card actually does quite a lot of work. If you want, maybe swap these 2 out for 2 more Hackdosses, or swap them out maybe for Shadow Skulls, but they actually do work for me. They're 4 mana 3/3, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under our control, that creature gets 2/0 and gains haste until end of turn. So we play this, and then next turn play more creatures, they become massive and immediately swing in. If we have this on the field and have creatures to play, the next turn we get an absolutely massive attack. Very solid card. Running a lone Nahiri here of Ancients. Now, I don't really like Nahiri much, as in this card's not incredible. Your deck has to be entirely focused around warrior and equipment. But, as it happens, our deck is entirely focused around warriors, and it does have a few equipment in it. So it's got a +1, create a 1/1 white core warrior creature token, and you may attach an equipment you control to it. Pretty solid. It makes a 1/1, and if we've got these two, we can just quickly attach it to them if we like, so it's not too bad. Her -2 is probably her best ability for us. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a warrior or equipment card, so that's any non-land in our deck, and put it into our hand. Then the rest go to the bottom of our library. So this can help refuel our hand later on. If we get this triggered twice off her, I'm normally pretty happy. It's pretty decent. And then her -3 doesn't normally come into play, but it deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to twice the number of equipment you control. Occasionally we'll bring her in and we'll have an equipment and maybe we can shock something. But she's not incredible, but in this deck, I actually think maybe put in another Hackdos, but I thought I'd run her for a bit of fun. Next up we're running Hackdos the Unscarred, 4 mana 6/1 legendary creature human warrior. He attacks each combat available, but when he enters the battlefield, choose 2, 3, or 4 at random, and he has protection from each converted mana cost other than the chosen number. If you get protection from 4 here, he's incredibly hard to deal with. Protection from 3, he's pretty hard to deal with. And protection from 2, he's still decently hard to deal with because there is a lot of 2-drop removal in the format. But he is very solid, exceptionally hard to deal with, and can swing him for a ton of damage if they don't manage to deal with him. Running 3 Embercleave, kind of an auto-include in any creature-based aggro deck in this format right now. Attack in, makes our creature absolutely massive, and will often insta-kill them. This on top of a Kargan, or a Paired Tactician, or a Seasoned, or a Shadow Skull, or a Hackdos, or really anything, just makes it massive, deals tons of damage. Then running Shadow Skull Minotaur. I'm not too sure about... I don't actually think we should be running this. I'm not too sure about this card. But it's 6 mana, 5/4 creature Minotaur Warrior with haste, but it costs 1 less to cast for each creature in our party. So in this deck, it essentially just... Oops, I just cut a Hackdos. It essentially just costs 1 less to cast. So it's essentially a 5 mana, 4/4, 5/4 haste. But I just realised, why not be running Shadow Skull Charger over that? I thought it was a 4-drop for some reason in our deck. But no, this is an alright card, but it's 5 mana, 5/4 haste, Minotaur Warrior. So it's not ideal. You should actually be running Shadow Skull, but unfortunately I'm out of rare wild cards, so I can't actually craft any more Shadow Skulls. But ideally, you'd be wanting to run more Shatter Skulls. Shatter Skull Charges, sorry, over Shatter Skull Minotaur. They're both called Shatter Skull. My bad. No, this is decent, but in this deck, it's a better include to run Shatter Skull Charges. So just chuck 2 more of them in, and it helps smooth our curve out a bit better. And then finally, we're running in 2 Emeria's Cool. It's not great, but there have been a lot of games where I play this late game and it just saves me. And it's not too much of a downside for a land. It taps for a white and enters tapped, but if we pay 3 life, it enters untapped. So we're kind of just running 2 of these over 2 lands, because most of the time it's a slight downside land, but we don't have any 1-drops, so we can often just play it on turn 1, and late game it can come in and completely save us. And yeah, that is the deck. I'm actually just going to chuck in 2 more Hackdosses real quick and take out these Shatter Skulls, because I thought they only costed 4, not 5. So I actually think Hackdoss is the better include here. But no, let's get into some gameplay. Okay, I'm just going to do some best of 1 matches here, so hopefully we can get up a large variety of different decks and show you how it performs against each of them, rather than just having 1 or 2 best of 3 games against a single deck. Okay, looking at our first starting hand, it's pretty decent. We're playing Emeria's Cool turn 1, Season turn 2, and either a Paired or a Relic Axe on turn 3. I think the play would be this into double Relic Axe on turn 4, so this is a keeper. I think even if we draw a Shadow Spear, I think we still play this on turn 1. Unfortunately, we don't have any 1-drops. There are, I think there's 1 Warrior 1-drop, the 1 mana 1/2 that can pay 5 to give creatures you control 1 mana until end of turn. But to be honest, that's a cool animation. I'm not a huge fan of that card. It's normally just a 1 mana 1/2. Doesn't generate a lot of value. No, I'm not really sure what he's running. He's always plays a Mountain. Could be running a mono red deck, but I've came up against a lot of mono red decks against this. Because even though mono red isn't really high up there on the competitive scheme, just so many people on Arena use mono red. Shocking. I think I will proceed with Season Hallowed Blade's ability. And I'm actually going to discard a Plains. See, boom. I'm pretty happy with that trade-off there. Discarding a card to discard a shock. Yeah, this card is so resilient. It's so solid. And it's not forced discarded as well. Like, you will often go, oh, I'll just let that die. But it's just really solid. Indestructible is such a strong keyword. Magnetic Channeler, okay. Don't see why I'd be running that. It's not very good. Oh, you might be running some shenanigans, you never know. Okay. Curving out pretty nicely here. Next combat. Swing with the Hallow Blade. If he blocks, we'll just discard the Mountain. I'd be pretty happy for him to block in this situation, be pretty good. Okay, discard a card, destroys thing. And then next turn we can hopefully get in with both of these. Possibly even double Relic Axe if we draw a land. Yeah, okay, he's going to kill this off, that's alright. Another Hallow Blade, nice draw there. What's the play here? I think it's actually a Relic Axe, I'd say. Because we'd rather have 1 large Hallow Blade than 2 small ones, because then we often have to discard more cards just to save a smaller creature. And we'll win the turn. The Relic Axe can be pretty solid. I would, if we could run more Hallow Blades, or really any of our other 2-drops, we probably would over Relic Axe. But unfortunately, we've all got all 4 of each of them. Okay, it's just passing turn, that's pretty good. What's the play here? I wouldn't mind playing the Relic Axe first, just because we need to keep cards in hand, so if he tries to kill it... Yep, we'll discard. It's cool. I think we'll just discard this. Oh, we have to tap it though, okay. Forgot about that. Yeah, that is the one downside. If they do it before combat, you don't get a swing in. But we should be alright. He either needs to keep burning removal spells to kill it, or we get him for tons of damage. Actos, I think we'll just keep that in hand. Just with the 7-3 indestructible, there's almost no way he can get out of this. Okay, we'll discard Hectos. Oops. Yeah, Seasoned Hallowblade's broken. It's broken. Such a strong card. We are, of course, having to discard stuff. Like, we've discarded four cards off it so far, but he's used 5 cards to... No, 4 cards... No, he's used 5 cards to attempt to kill it, yeah. Discard your hand, then draw 3. So that's a bit of card advantage for him, which is not too fun. Our turn. Unfortunately, he can just instantly escape. Oh no, he can't escape it. It's 8 other cards. Okay. Swing in. Once again, he's going for the block, so we'll just eat it. This is just a game of he plays something, I give my Seasoned Hellblade indestructible, I destroy it. Brash Taunter, okay, that's a bit of a roadblock. Okay, that's not good. That is bad. Okay, that's a good draw. That's a good draw. Okay, he's dead in 2 turns, but he can deal 14 to us if he double fights with Brash Taunter. The thing is, it does cost him 3 mana, so I don't think he's actually going to. The problem is this is also vulnerable to removal as well. If he has removal, he can just immediately kill it. I have no protection for it. If this creature or planeswalker would die this turn, I don't think it would die. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here, I've probably mucked up, but I don't think it would die. Either way, it's only 1 card, and he shocks in response. No, okay, that's sweet. Yeah, I was just double checking. But no, yeah, I don't think it did kill it, but it's just better safe than sorry. Okay, and we can't attack him because of his Brash Taunter. It's a bit of a roadblock. Yeah, indestruct. And that's... No, we've still got 1 turn. But unfortunately, I didn't run any main deck removal, which I'm not really so sure about my decision there. I had to block this, we're not taking 12. If we let our guy die, we don't get insta-kill next turn, so I think we just let our guy die here. Because we can't let his Brash Taunter have anything to fight. We have another Hallowblade, but then if he fights it, we take 9. And then double equip. This is a really sticky situation here. If we play this, he'll then fight it, we take 9. Next turn we hit him for 5, and then we need to draw another... No, we can't... Oh, I actually think we play this, but we don't equip anything to it. I think that's the play. You can now escape Ox of Agonos as well, which is not great. Oh, and we have to discard our card. Tectonic Giant. If he swings in with that, we take 9. Well, Shadow Spear would be a pretty good draw. Yeah, Shadow Spear would be a really good draw because we can lose Brash Taunter as indestructible. That'd probably be our best draw in this situation. And what would our number 2 draw be? I'm not really sure what our second to best draw would be, but no, we're aiming for a Shadow Spear here. That'd save us. Bringing back an Octavagonos, essentially just drawing 3 cards, which is pretty nice. Either way, we still take 3 damage, so just no blocks. That's a Haktos, but... oh, it might do the trick. Yes, okay, it's got protection from all his stuff. Although I think we're just dead here, are we? What? Oh, we're not. No, we're dead now. And Scoop, because he attacks with Tectonic, hits us for 9, and then swings in with Ox. We block it. Yeah, we take too much. We take a total of 21 damage. Okay, see you in the next round. Okay, we're up against Egotistic. I think this is a keeper. Myriad's cool, into Hallowblade, into Relicax, into... yep, it's solid keep. Okay, try him. Okay, so he's running some sort of likely 3-colour deck. He could be running 2 colours, because I know I was using a standard deck in real life the other week, but I legit decided, because I don't actually have a standard deck right now in real life, I just decided, oh, I want to play standard tonight, so I built a standard deck, went down to the game store. But no, it was just from a bunch of stuff in my folders. I actually did alright considering, but I know I was running these in the 2-colour deck to get a bit of fixing, because there isn't much in this format right now. You've got the flip lands that flip for 2 colours, and that's about, and the temples, but the temples aren't very good. That's really all your options. Play Relicax here, hit him for 5. He can scry 1, that's all he can do. Okay, bottom, that's pretty nice. And we'll win the turn. Next turn we can, depending on what he does, we can either play Nahiri or Haktos. And then the turn after that we can Embercleave. I think the play is Haktos. Yeah, Haktos is the play here. Counter, okay. That's all good. We can still hit him for 5. He's now down to half his life. And if we draw a land, we can then kill him next turn. And pass. And it's exceptionally hard for him to deal with this. He's going to need to draw... well, he's in blue and either green or black. Or he might just be mono blue, I'm not sure. But he's in blue and either green or black, so I highly doubt he'll have, he does have removal. It's a 4 mana removal for a 2 mana creature though. Very solid. Solid for us. But wasting that just then, that's really nice. I think we'll just Nahiri. +1, because we essentially get a free 2 of this. And the next turn we can go Kargan, which will buff up all these tokens. We'll hopefully have 2 by then. And then we hit him for only 4 next turn, and then we have Leaf the turn after. Okay, just passing straight through. Okay, that's interesting. Go to... no, I think we played this before combat. I think it's worth playing it for the extra damage. Mystical Dispute, that's all good. Go to combat. Get him for free. Play Goma Fada Vanguard. And I think I'll make another core and attach the Relicax to it. Doesn't really matter what what warrior it's attached to, but this one's untapped and he might have some massive haste body by some reason. I'm not sure. I remember okay, he scoops. That was an easy one. Yeah, it was pretty hard for him to get out of that, and we did we have lethal? Yeah, we had exactly 11 next turn with Embercleave, but he didn't know that. But he was in a very harsh position. But no, maybe Nahiri is pretty solid to include, although that was nearly an ideal situation for her there, like it couldn't have got much better, so... And even then, she was only pretty good, she wasn't like completely game warping, no. Okay, so next round we're up against Kikuchi, and this hand seems like a solid keep. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, yep, solid hand, I'll keep this. I think we'll just play this as... I think we'll just play plains here. It doesn't make much difference, but if we play this, it reveals both our colours, and we could potentially change our decision to not do this and read in the future. That's not very fun. Oh, it's not too bad. We can just bluff having the pump for Kargan Intimidator and then still get the damage in. He's running a bright climb, so maybe white-black, possibly? Maybe free colour. Yeah, it would be free colour. Why would he be running those then? Play this. Attack in. If he blocks, I'm cool to pay the mana. Okay, no he doesn't, so we get some damage in. And we can drop the paired Tactician, so next turn we can get him for a lot. Oh, and we have Embercleave as well. That's another equipment. I forgot about that. Yeah, maybe Nahiri is worth going up to 2 copies of. I think we just play this as a white. Doesn't really matter. Go to attacks. Attack him with both. He gets a counter. And then we have an Embercleave. Extra damage. We'll play Embercleave. Hit him for 13. This deck reminds me a little bit of the Knights deck in Eldraine Standard. It plays kind of similarly. Yeah, it does play kind of similarly. Sorry, excuse my pronunciation there. It plays pretty similar, but yeah, it is actually quite a similar deck. I wonder if Knights is better though. I'd say this is just as strong as Knights. Okay, we can make one of his... Okay, double Maya's Grasp. That's all good. Do we play Ogre? I think we do. Jeez, my dog just barked at something. Okay, what's the story here? We can hit him for... Oh, we have Lethal. Cool. So we play Relic Axe, give our Kargan 5. We activate. Target creature becomes a coward until end of turn. Give him Trample for the fun of it. And swing him for 5. That's GG's. Okay, he did get double Maya's Grasp, but in that he kind of had to 2-for-1 himself. But that Embercleave, that just got an additional... Yeah, it was an additional 6 damage, sorry. That was really strong. Okay, next round we're up against Harley. Joining Kahira as his companion, okay. I think we have to mull this, no red. I might have kept the weird red there, because turn 1 Shadow Spear, turn 2 Kargan, turn 3 Relic or Shadow Skull. But we don't have any red, so we're going to have to trash this. This looks a little bit better. I'm happy to keep this. I think we dump it. Amiria's cool. I'd rather just have the untapped lands than Amiria's cool here. And one of them is easily enough for late game, but we're still going to play this in turn 1 anyway. So Freelander into turn 3 Paired Tactician into Tactician into Kargan seems alright. It's not a great hand. Hopefully we draw into a 2-drop. But no, this is better than our first hand. There was way more risk in that hand. Fortunately, not a 2-drop. We just play a land, and we have to pass off. So yeah, getting a 2-drop, in standard, or something in the first 2 turns is very important. In draft, it's normally fine, you normally get away with it, but in standard, you almost always need something in turn 2, or you're in quite a bit of trouble. Because then you're way behind, control decks are really close to catching up to you. Normally by turn 4 or 5, they would start neutralizing you. And then aggro decks would be so far ahead of you, you'd have a hard job to keep up. But luckily, I'm not really sure what he's running, and he has just played a bit of a duddy 2-drop. I'm not a huge fan of Maze Mind Tomb. It's alright, like it can maybe draw your cards or scry, but most of the time it's just, and gain you a bit of like, oh, it's alright, but most of the time I just don't think it's worth it for your turn 2 play, even if you're a control deck. I think we just play this. It's running Throne of Makandi, so we might be running some charge counter stuff. Makindi, sorry, not Makandi. Go to combat, attempt to hit him for free. Swinging. Scorching Dragonfire. Okay, that's all good. Scries to the top, so we might have something pretty sweet. He might just be running like no creatures if he's using this, or he might have like 1 creature and he brings this in a really late game as a win condition. I'm not entirely sure. Another Kargan, that's pretty good draw. Play this as a red, I think. Drop a Kargan. Attempt to hit him for 4. It's taking a while to let it resolve, so we might have something. Yeah, unfortunately, it's an Essence Scatter. A lot of people run Essence Scatter. It's like a pretty average counterspell, but yeah, main decking it seems a bit skeptical, but it's not too bad. Like most decks in standard run creatures at like 85% or 80% are primarily creature based, or mostly or partly creature based. So this normally just is kind of 2 mana, but even in those decks, creatures are only like 2/3 or 3/4 of the spell. Like my deck, which is really heavy creature based, it still has quite a few non-creatures. I think we play this as a white. First up will Shadow Spear. First up will Kargan, actually. I'd actually debatably him rather counter that than Shadow Spear, if he has a counter. Once again, taking quite a while to decide, so he's obviously got decisions. I will play Shadow Spear. Attach it. Hopefully we can get him for 5 damage here, which would be pretty nice. But he's bound to have something. Yeah, into the Royal. Okay. Yeah, that slows us down a little bit. In fact, he has interacted with us really well. And we did, like I said, we didn't have a 2-drop. We had very slow, very average hand. We forced a mulligan down to there. So he had the free interaction spells has just set us back so far. And we have only really drawn into land so far. Midnight Clock? Okay, at least he doesn't have any interaction this turn. Oh, okay, that's a nice draw. I think we just played Paired Tactician while he doesn't have anything, rather than equip Shadow Spear and try and get an extra damage in. It is lifelink, which will gain us 6 life, but by the looks of it, he's not going to try to kill us anytime soon. What does this do? Can this target players? Planeswalkers, so it can't actually hurt us. Or can it? Is X is twice or more? No, it can't actually damage us. So I'd assume that's his win con. He might have a dinosaur or a cat in his deck, I'm not sure. But if that's really his only win con, he could potentially be in trouble. But although, he'll probably get away with it because I have no removal. Gets to draw a card off that. Yeah, Midnight Clock I used to run it in my Proliferate deck, and it could sometimes actually do a bit of work. It's not actually that bad of a card. But I'm surprised it doesn't see really any EDH play when it's actually really solid in EDH. It resets your hand, often draws you a lot of cards off it. It's a mana rock early on. It's just pretty solid. It's a mana rock for the first few turns, and then after 3 or so of your turns, you then get to completely refill your hand. I actually think it's a really good card, but it sees hardly any EDH play. Okay, my turn. We'll play the Paired Tactician here. I think we'll equip this to this Paired Tactician and attempt to swing in. Either way, I'm pretty cool with if he has removal or bounces one. If he bounces both, though, or destroys both, we're in a lot of trouble. If he has lots of interaction here, we could be in a really bad position. This is probably our last. Destroy target artifact. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so we get him for 10 damage, I think. Okay, I'm happy with that. He's down to 3 life. Gets an hour counter on Midnight Clock. So I'm assuming he doesn't have much. He needs 3... He scoops. Okay, nice win, nice win. Yeah, he didn't really have many control things on there and we just overpowered him. Okay, game 5, we're up against Xeno Legend. I think we mulligan this, but I couldn't be sure. No, I think I'll keep it. It's just playable, and we've got 3 draws to draw into a 2-drop, so I'd say we're likely going to draw into one. Akim Hellhound. Okay, no, we did draw a 2-drop, so that's not too bad. Okay, swing. Fervent Champion. Okay, swings in. If he's another. No, okay. Swings in for 3. He is already down to 4 cards, though, so. Another 2-drop, so we can probably go this next turn into Goma Fata Relicax or Nahiri, which would be pretty nice. No, I don't think we play Nahiri on turn 4. I think we just go. Shock, okay. I think we just go Relicax, Goma Fata on turn 4, and then her on turn 5, maybe shock something out. He gets a Hackdos off us, which might not be fun in the future, but he seems to not have any lands and he still needs to attack with this to get to play it. I reckon they should have said any time you attack with an archer. Although I guess the rogue's more flavorful, but considering there's all this rogue stuff in standard, someone might make a rogue's deck. There is rogue's decks, but a rogue deck with this in and it actually gets a bunch of extra value. Okay. But I assume he has a shock. Embercliff. Oh, no. That's annoying that he drew that. So if he does, I think I'll just try to eat this. And then he hopefully can't play these in. Nah, it's just stomp. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that trade. Nothing too bad. Okay, we'll play Goma Fata. And luckily he is drawing no land, so he can't drop his Bone Crusher. And his Akim... No, he just drew a land, okay. And I was going to say his Akim's pretty much disabled, but it's back up to a 2-3. Okay, Annex, that's fine. I'll be happy for him to attack in here, but he's not going to. Do we... I don't actually think we shock something out. It's only 2 damage. I think the play here is actually grab something. I think we want to get a seasoned. Oh, no, Hektos is probably a stronger card overall. Yeah, I'd rather have a Hektos than a seasoned on the field, even though the seasoned can get indestructible. If he doesn't hit the Nahiri, we can get quite a lot of value off her. Just plays a Bone Crusher. Pretty uneventful turn, so doing pretty well here. Ooh, Shadow Skull, that's a nice draw. +1, create a warrior. Do we attach decline? No, I think we just decline. Play a land, and I think we'll play Hektos. I could have played Shadow Skull there. Okay, CMC for everything. That's a little bit annoying. It can't block these two. And he attacks each turn available. So it will likely trade off with, I'd assume, the Bone Crusher next turn, and then he gets 2 Satyrs as well. Do we minus or we plus? It depends what we draw. Phoenix. Oh no, that's not fun. That card's really good in mono red because it swings over and destroys stuff. Is he going to go for face or Nahiri? Nahiri. We still get another warrior offer. Oh, nice draw. See, this is when Emiria is cool. Games like this, that's when Emiria is cool. Just comes out, runs it home. Okay, it's perfect draw. Decline. We could attack. Nah, there's no point. He'd still block. Okay. Play this as a mountain. And then drop Emiria's cool. Nice one. Yeah, this card doesn't actually see too much play. I think it's a beast. Even though it's a 7-drop, it's still insane. I'm still just going to attack him with Hektos, so I don't want to leave my shields down too much, because we are against mono red. They have lots of direct damage and removal. And we get him for 6 damage. Nice. If he attacks, I think we'll just single block his Phoenix of Ash. Because you can trade off with one of our angels, but I'm pretty happy with that. And he won't be able to escape it immediately, and even when he does escape it, it's still his whole turn down the drain, and he won't be able to escape it again. Okay, passing turn. Always good against mono red when they pass turn. We'll eventually be able to outvalue them. What's the play here? I wouldn't mind minusing her, but no, I still think it's just a plus. Generate more value in the long run. Decline. I think we Shadow Skull plus Relic Axe. Shadow Skull kicked. Hey, and we'll play Relic Axe on... What are we going to target? I think we target one of the angels. Swing in. Oh, the angels are warriors as well. I actually completely forgot that. Okay, the angels are angel warriors. They are. That card, I didn't even realise they were warriors when I originally put it in. That card is a lot better than I thought. If I attack with Goma, how many warriors do we have? We have enough to make any of his thing not be able to block. But I still don't think it's worth trading it off. And then I believe would have lethal next turn, depending on how it goes here. Yeah, and we can shock something for 4 now. Maybe Nahiri is actually really solid. Like, look at the value she's generated at us this game. But maybe she's more of a sideboard card. Like, in this matchup, she's actually doing really well against mono red. But most of the time, you'd almost always just want a actual 4-drop, like creature, over a planeswalker that'll probably just die the next turn. But no, she actually worked out pretty well in the end. Nahiri's call turned out to be an absolute beast. It turned out they were warriors as well, which just makes the deck so much stronger. Yeah, this card, it's great. I love it. It doesn't, like, you look at it and I'm like, oh, I don't know. It is actually really strong. And he scoops. Yeah, I think he realized, could have I killed him? Yeah, I could have killed him, just attach the Relic Axe to the Angel and swing in. Okay, nice victory, guys. I think that will conclude the video there. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my deck. If you want to see more from me, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I hope to see you next time.